Hello YouTube, MichiganVanDweller here with a few tips on how to stay warm in the winter. It's already October here and daytime highs are 50 degrees, nighttime's about 35, but there's been a couple of times where it's been freezing already. I'm parked out back behind the garage at my mom's house, of course, and I'm planning on riding this winter out once again here. So, yeah, I need to rake. Now the first couple things that you want to do is insulate your windows. Those are the big deal breakers on where you lose your heat. Now on some of these windows, alright, first of all it's got the conversion kit, so it's got these window blinds. This window right here just has a layer of cardboard. And let's see, it's coming on the inside here. Before too long, I'm going to put a blanket comforter around the front here, block that off. First of all, I got my curtain here with a blanket. It separates the back, less area to cool. Up in front in the passenger seat, this is where I store my propane Mr. Heater Big Buddy. I've added a couple of little mounts here so I can set a pan on top or can of food, let it warm up that way. Candles help quite a bit, actually. From my experience, is about one candle each will warm it up. Well, if it's pretty well insulated, it'll warm it up about maybe 5 degrees each candle. However, you do not want to leave your candles burning for too long. You want to keep your wick trimmed back. I learned the hard way because I had so much soot on the roof. You can see where it's darker up here. That's all soot from candle burning last year. I cook my ravioli, or I don't even remember what this is. I just leave it on the side there. Or when the wick burns down, I can set it right in there like that. But I leave it off to the side every 5, 10, 15 minutes. Shake it up until it feels warm enough.
Now, I never open a can, and as long as you don't leave it on for a very long time, I've never had one come close to anything critical.
On these windows here, I'm still going to add some kind of a blanket and then more cardboard. I keep my cardboard stored right underneath my bed. When I took it off last winter, I just shoved it all underneath there. Nice spot to keep cardboard. But I added these, it's just a single bed sheet. I sewed it in with all these different lines here. That way it comes down and goes up with it. That helps more than you would imagine. See, in back here I have another blanket, regular bed sheet. That's folded over 4 times altogether right there. Your bed, that's where you're going to want to keep warm the most and is the easiest to keep warm as long as you stay in there, of course. A couple winters ago I had a -40 extreme cold weather sleeping bag, and when it was 15-20 degrees in here, that was too much. Like, I would be sweating when it was only 15 degrees inside the van if I was underneath that blanket. So a different amount of blankets that you can add is very important, depending on how cold it is. If it's not that cold, just a little blanket. If it gets colder, you add another layer of blanket. Or even colder, add another layer of blanket. Now, as far as heating your van goes, that can be a little tricky. Besides running your engine, which is not too very efficient, especially with the V8 engines that goes a lot of gas, I use electric heaters. Last winter, I used this little 750 watt heater. It's a Comfort Zone that I bought from Walmart for, I think it was like $18. That lasted great last winter. Now I don't run anything on the full 1500 watts due to power consumption and the length of my cable run, and plus the size of my cable. I need to upgrade that. You really want to, if you run an electric heater, you really need to pay attention to the size of your cable. Recently I purchased this little it's one of these quartz medium-sized room heaters. Works really well. I'd say it works just as good as this little heater. However, this is so much more quiet. Listen. That's with this heater up here. That would sometimes wake me up at night. This is nice and quiet. Both of them are 750 watts on low, 1500 watts on high. One problem I've noticed with these Comfort Zone heaters is when you crank it up to the full 1500 watts, you can turn that thermostat all the way up, and after a couple minutes, once the heater itself warms up, it'll shut off because it thinks it's already warm inside, even if it's 40 degrees inside. So this only works on low, is my review. I'm sure a couple other models, a couple other whatever would work a little better. I don't know, but 750 watts, as long as you have insulation over your windows and everything, 750 watts. If you run it all the time, which you will need shore power, you cannot run any of these off batteries. If you run 750 watts, that'll get you through winter just fine. Now, I do have a couple other heaters here. I purchased one of these little 12 volt window defrosters. It runs on, let's see, it's 15 amps. I tested it, it actually draws about 10 amps. It'll warm your hands up, but that's about it. Not much more. And then I also purchased a couple years ago a 300 watt Rode Pro, which actually burnt out on me one time, but I fixed it up and now it's in my car. Now, as far as running electric heaters on your battery goes, you could run 750 watts for half hour, maybe an hour, with a medium-sized battery bank like the one I have here. I've also added more insulation up top. I bought this from Walmart for like $10. It's just a little simple foam mattress pad. I just kind of shoved it up all in there. Plus I have the same thing up front. Now this winter compared to the last two is, well, the last two I had a 5-gallon water cooler, which actually kept, for the most part, it kept it thawed no matter what. However, this winter I've got water tank and water lines and everything, and I cannot let these freeze. So I have one of these little 200 watt something or other, little 200 watt blowing right back in here. I'm hoping that'll keep it all thawed. I'm planning on running that full time. Also, if you can, it'll help if you can find something to put inside your door panels, because there's a good 4 inches right here, and back in here I've got some military field liner jackets. That helps a little bit. Plus I got more of them jackets all up behind these and wherever I could shove them. So yeah.